All right, everybody, welcome. I'm back live. Let me check here, make sure that I am live. All right, I think we are. Let me take a look. Let me make sure that's muted. Okay, we're back live. Why are we back live? Because today we're doing the Q&A session. We wanted to make sure that we hit the entire planet. So we went live today at 8 o'clock in the morning, and that got almost half of the planet, a little bit more than half of the planet, but it was a little late for the people in Europe from the UK East. So now I'm back live at 3 p.m. In the UK, 3 p.m. in New South Wales, Australia. And that means that it is 6 a.m. in the UK. Good morning to the UK. Those of you who are on the UK time, the same time as the UK. They're in Europe, Northern Europe, Southern Europe, and over towards India. Welcome. Good morning for you guys. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morrow, depending on where in the world you are tuning in, right? Okay, so we are live here, and I am going to pull this up, and I apologize once we go live here. Once I pull this up, if you guys hear what's going on, I'll have to mute it once I do that and share this out. So share this out. Let me go over here, and I'm live on Instagram as well. Let me go live on Instagram. We're live there. Let me come back in the studio and check. If you're here in the audience and you pop in, please say something in the chat so I can take a look. But I need to monitor the chat because I had forgotten that when I go live on my channel, which is what I did, where am I here? I have to mute this. And let me mute myself. It's not wanting to mute. Then I have to have a, yeah, see, it's still, I have to mute it. I can't see the chat in the studio for whatever reason. It doesn't go into the studio of, so I'm going to pull it up here so I can see you guys. There we go. People were coming in here and making comments, and I didn't see you guys, and I apologize. Like Reese said hello, and Denise said hello, and a few other people, and I didn't get to see that when I was here before because, and then I have to go back over it and take a look in Instagram as well. The YouTube chat will come into the StreamYard studio. When I'm on a page on Facebook, it comes into the StreamYard studio. And I forgot, I'm not on a professional page. I was on my own page live, which I am now again on Facebook. And so I need to go and share that out over there. So now I can look over here and see if there's anybody in the chat and say hello to you in the chat, which I just did. For those of you who are over there on Facebook, you'll be able to see me over there now. And they'll do the same thing on Instagram. So, yeah, and there it is on Instagram too. So for those of you on YouTube, I don't have that up on the monitor right now to take a look because you guys will come in over here. So that was kind of annoying. I want to apologize to everybody, but it was a little late for the people in Europe. It always is whenever I do, like Orion Rising, when I do the show on Fridays, is always a little bit late for those people in Europe. So doing the Q&A going forward, I wanted to make sure that I covered everybody. So I'm going to split it. I ended up doing like 2 hours or 2.5 hours. I'll probably just end up doing an hour. I might go 2. Depends on how many questions that you guys ask. If you ask questions when you're in the chats and how far that goes. But I'm going to definitely do it at 8 a.m. Every Wednesday morning. That's Wednesday in Australia. It'll be Tuesday afternoon, evening, and then Wednesday morning. For those of you in the UK, I'll come back live. Like I said, those of you who are in that area, when you catch up to the Wednesday, I will be on there for you, so you guys can catch up to that. Yeah, so that way you guys can catch up because we're ahead of you. Being in Australia, I'm in New South Wales, and it's 3:04 p.m. right now in New South Wales, Australia. So it's 6:04 a.m. in London, UK time. For most of you over there in UK time, I think GMT is a little bit behind that by maybe an hour. But I know that Ireland and Scotland, it's morning for you, and it's a little early. But I'm trying to find that time when I can hit everybody live just in case. So we may move it. I may go a little bit later, do it at 4 p.m. We'll see how we're going to play with that. But I'm going to be going live to be able to do Q&As with you guys so that you guys can, for around the world, be able to get used to the idea that I used to do this on a Zoom call on Zoom, where people could get invited, and we would share it into the chat, which I haven't shared this, so I'm going to share this while we're talking here. But yeah, we used to invite a bunch of people from the chat, which I haven't been doing. So I will start doing that probably. I'm trying to figure out the times and the places for everybody so that we can get people in here to be able to ask questions depending on where you are in the world, so we don't get you too late for those people who are going to be up in the UK, and we don't get you too early again for the people that are in the UK and over from the United Kingdom across Africa, across into the China and Russia area, the time zone, and India, and coming across back behind us. So we're trying to figure out what exactly would be a good coverage for the people there, for you guys, wherever you are around the world, to be able to ask questions. If you're interested in spiritual questions, to be able to ask me the questions. And if not, and there's no call for it, then I'll end up just going back to the default and going live just once. But we'll see. It depends on where you guys are at. And then you guys will be able to contact myself or Brooke. And we just got our new page, Merlin and Maeve, up today, and we invited a bunch of you out there. We're going to start going live on that. I didn't go live on that right now because it's brand new. I literally just got it up after I was live earlier today. Then I went and got it. So those of you who are sitting there, you're going, wait a minute, Leo's live again? Yes. Depending on where you are in the world, it's either evening or very late or very early for you. So we went live at 8 a.m. my time, which was 3 p.m. West Coast America time, and now I'm live at 3 p.m. my time, which is 10 p.m. over on West Coast America, but it's 6 a.m. for those of you who are in Europe on the UK time. So it's 6 a.m. It's either 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. over there, and as you're coming closer to Australia, it's getting later and later until you get to the same time as us. So I'm trying to be able to hit you guys either before you go to work or, in the evening. It's hard to try and go live and go around the world for a Q&A and be able to hit people from all over the world and not leave anybody out. So we're doing it twice a day right now. We'll continue doing it twice a day, and we might shift the second time zone. Right now I'm doing it at my 3 p.m., which is 6 a.m. over there in the UK. It might be a little early for you guys, so maybe I'll do it at 4 p.m., which would be 7. We'll just figure out what works for you guys. So you guys can do that. So if you know who I am and you've tuned in because you know who I am, then you understand what I'm doing. If you don't know who I am and you've tuned in, you're thinking, who is this guy? What is going on, right? So that's if you do know who I am, then you realize that I'm here to answer your questions spiritually or otherwise. I also wanted to, now that I put myself on the screen over here for the live show over here, I wanted to also talk about what we got going on coming up here on the weekend here in New South Wales, so in Australia. So for those of you that are around the world, if you're waking up and you're wondering who's this guy and what's going on, my name is Leonard O'Neill. You can look me up on Facebook if you found me there. If not, my name is there. You can look me up and see who I am. You can also see my books back here in the background that I wrote. I'll probably do a commercial for them at some point. I usually do, so that you guys can take a look at that. But that's entitled "The Reality About Reality: Returning to the Old Ways." So if you know who I am, then that's why you're looking at that and you're figuring that out. If you don't know who I am, then you have no idea what's going on, right? And that's okay too. You're not expected to know. This is something that we used to do, like I said, non-live, because people were afraid and didn't want to talk. So people didn't want to be live. But my vision has always been to go live with this so that you guys can ask questions about what is going on in this reality, what is going on in the world. So that's why I'm going live now, for you guys to be able to do that and ask those questions. And if not, I'll just talk until we start getting people to come in about what's going on in the world. And so depending on what you're drawn to, you'll either think it's a great thing that spirituality, or your maybe conspiracy theories and things like that. I don't know what it is that you guys are drawn to, but I can just give you what I can and talk about what I can, right? So I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I am a medium. I'm a psychic medium, and I'm also a channeler, and I will be doing that coming up this weekend. If you guys are interested, I can do that here if anybody is asking questions. But otherwise, this weekend, I'm going to, if you're in the Australia, especially in the New South Wales area of Australia, coming up this weekend, I will be at the Mystic Moon Market. Myself and my wife will both be there, Merlin and Maeve. Join us at the Mystic Moon Market this Sunday, 21st of September at 10 a.m., between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. at the Central Coast Leagues, 1 Dane Street, Gosford, right? Gold coin entry. Come and see us there. Both myself and my wife, Brooke, will be there. It'll be Merlin and Maeve. We will be there along with a bunch of other vendors selling all kinds of things. We will be doing Reiki, or at least my wife will. She'll be doing Reiki there. I'll be assisting her with that. And then I will be channeling at some time. I don't know what the schedule is, but I will be in the little impromptu staging area where I will be taking spiritual questions, and I will be channeling either Rafael, Archangel Raphael, or Thoth, the Atlantean. Probably Thoth. He keeps coming through and saying that it's going to be him that I'm going to be channeling. So we will see. So I came on here to talk about that and to talk about the reality of what's going on here on this planet and what you're here to do. Thoth was here to tell us that exact thing thousands of years ago. Thoth came here and left information for the world to see what's going on in the world, what is this whole place about, and what you're doing. And I was talking about that earlier today. If you're in the UK, it was around your 11 p.m. last night when I was talking about that live, and that's why I decided to go back live again. So I'm hitting all of that. So those of you who are in America, it's getting very late for you. You may not want to tune in. Those of you who are in Australia, you may be just tuning in because you're getting off of work, and somewhere right around that, because it's 3 p.m. on the east side of Australia. So as it goes west, you guys are still at earlier during the day and at lunch, right? So you may not be back live, but you could have been at 8 o'clock this morning, because it would have been 9, 10, and 11 o'clock in the morning for those of you who are here in New South Wales. So, but like I said, if you're anywhere else in the world right now, it's either getting very late for you or it's very early. So I came back live again so that we can get those people over there in the UK, Europe, and South Africa, Madagascar, and going across towards India. And so all of the Baltic states, and those of you around the world there, it's morning time for you. So good morning. But those of you who are anywhere else, it's good evening. That's why I always say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good morrow, depending on where in the world you are tuning in. So I'm here to take your guys' questions, because more and more people are waking up around the world, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're looking around just in general, saying, what is happening? What is going on? Why is it that I'm looking at the world differently? Or why is it the world doesn't seem the same as it did before? You're watching television and you're going, but these people seem to be lying. What is happening here? They used to lie and hide it. Now they're not even doing that. Wherever you are in your development, if you're getting to that point where you're looking at the world and you're thinking, wait a minute, this place must be getting worse. It's not getting worse. It's actually getting better. It just seems like it is because of the strife that's going on. If you're aware of the strife that's going on, then you're becoming aware, and you're becoming more active, not in the politics or religion or the strife that's going on. You're actually becoming more active in your own development, to the point where you're starting to see through that veil that is usually blinding people. You're starting to activate. You're starting to see what is happening in the world. And you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? Why are these people seem to be lying when they weren't before? They were hiding, and now they're not. They're in plain sight. They've always been in plain sight. You just didn't perceive them. You're perceiving them now. So I'm one of the people that I was born unveiled. So I have always been watching everything that's going on. I'm not the only one. There are millions, maybe even billions of people at this point in the development of this planet that are able to and capable of seeing this. And people are waking up exponentially around the earth to this, wondering what's happening to them. So when that happens, guides need to start talking to the world to help them, to assist you guys out there, so you don't think you're crazy, so you don't think, what is happening? It's just nuts. I'm losing something, because otherwise I would not know what's going on, and I'm seeing what's going on. Why am I seeing what's going on? That's normal. You're not crazy. You're starting to understand instead of understand the matrix. The matrix is this place it always has been. It's just no one knew that word until about 25 years ago or 22 years ago when they had the movie The Matrix. It was already around before that, all the way back as far as the 1980s. I mean, it's always been around, and people, if you look in history, you'll see that, like Lao Tzu in 634 BCE. So we're talking 2,600 and whatever that is, 25 years ago, people, or thereabouts, so quote me on the exact math, I didn't do the exact math, was saying the exact same thing. So was the Buddha at the time. Both of those men lived in China at that time, more than 2,000 years ago. The Christ Jesus, 2,000 years ago, was also saying the same thing. Muhammad, 150 years later, I think it was 150 years later, was saying the same thing. Moses, 4,000 years ago, was saying the same thing. Those are just people in that region of the world. You have the same story. Thoth the Atlantean, the Hermes Trismegistus. He was also Greek, but people say he was Egyptian. He was. So it's really hard to tell whether he was a Greek or an Egyptian, because some people say he was a Greek, some people say he was an Egyptian. Then Thoth, the Atlantean, going even further back in time. You have these people throughout time everywhere. Like I said, the Buddha, the Lao Tzu with the Tao. You go, say, to the north, and you hear the stories of Odin and Yggdrasil, which is the tree of life, and all of these religions and all of these spiritual practices around the world. You're going to find that the message that was being taught at the time was exactly the same. And I'm not the only person that's realizing that in the world and telling the world about it. But it's time that people like me, because of the development of the world, it is time that I can say these things a little more readily live on air, because of free will and the way this world works, the way the universe works, the laws of the universe that are set down, that are agreed upon by the creator, is that the only information that I can give you, if I'm going one-on-one, I can give you more information than I can give 5 people or 10 people or 100 people. I can only give you the total sum of the information that would be the average of where you guys are in your development. So some people, I can sit in a group of people and they could be further, more advanced in their spiritual understanding, and I can give more information, where someone could walk into the room and that could lower things to what I can then really give in the room, because the average will change. Same thing happens with the entire planet. We can only give the information that is readily available for the world. So right now the world is in a place, because so many people are waking up, that I can say these words to you, and I can tell you what's going on a lot more than if I was sitting in a different place. Reese, hello. I apologize to you for earlier not seeing that you were there, because I forgot I went live on my page, and because of that, I have to have that window open so that I can see the chat, because it doesn't filter into StreamYard. So I apologize for not saying hello to you and Denise. There was a couple other people that were talking, and so now I have to switch between Instagram to see people there, which you were just there and you came over here. Thank you for logging in there. Then I have to go into the studio to see if anybody on YouTube is talking. And then I have to come back over to Facebook to see if anybody's saying hello. So I apologize to you, my brother, for not saying hello earlier, because I didn't see it, because I was like, why is no one talking? I know there's people here, and someone told me that people are talking, and I forgot that when I go live on my page, not on Orion Rising, that the chat only goes to my page in here, and then if you share it out to a bunch of people, that chat will come into my page but not into the studio, which is bizarre and annoying. Brooke said I should have just went live on Facebook alone, but I want it to be on YouTube and on somewhere else. And Instagram at this point seems to be allowing me to go live, even though it's owned by Meta. So the Q&A that I used to do, Reese, you know this, Q&A that we used to do on a Wednesday, we used to do it on Zoom off air, and I've always wanted to go live with that. To be able to have that Q&A for anyone to tune in and hear, and have it online for people to see afterwards, because it's time that we move into that next phase where we can start taking this information more readily to the world and letting them ask questions. That is why I'm going to be over here in Gosford on Sunday doing exactly that. My wife and I will be doing Reiki there, Reikiing people, but then I will be doing a channeling session there. So it's going to be cool, right? Yeah, I came alive again, Reese, because we decided to do it twice because of the time differential. When I go live at 8 a.m., that's 3 p.m. in America on the West Coast and 6 p.m. But over in England, in the UK, it was 11 p.m. at night, right? That's the problem that I have when I was doing Orion Rising, right? Which I will still be doing on Fridays. But if I'm going to be doing a Q&A like this, we're looking at doing it twice. So for those of you in Australia, it's 8 a.m. and then right now 3 p.m. I may move it to 4 p.m. But the reason I'm alive at 3 p.m. here is because it's 6 a.m. in the UK, in London. So for everybody in that region of the world, with Europe, Northern Europe, Southern Europe, South Africa, Madagascar, and moving this way, coming east towards Australia, it's getting, it's 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 noon, coming back around to us at 3 p.m. Do you see? So those people that were in the UK and past were asleep and may not be able to have access to. So we're going to do it twice. So we hit everybody from Australia over, and then we hit everybody from the UK over back to Australia the second time during the day. So we're trying to figure out just exactly that time. So for those of you who are in Australia, you can get it twice. That's the beauty of Australia, is because I'm going at 8 a.m. and at 3 p.m. on what will be our Wednesday in Australia. It'll be Tuesday in America, and then Tuesday and Wednesday for those of you in Europe, because at 11 p.m. on Tuesday, and then 6 a.m. Wednesday morning, I'll be back live, and maybe 7 a.m. if we change it. And so that way we can have this Q&A, and people can come in and ask questions, or just listen to me just ramble on, whichever you guys want to do. Right. But literally the weird thing is, let me tell you the story because it just happened. The weird thing is that here's how apropos stuff. Reese, you know what I'm talking about, because you and I've talked about this several times, where like when I'm doing the Law of One, where we would get on there and talk about it, and all of a sudden realize how much of that episode of the Law of One, that particular channeling session, was weirdly playing out in the world on either that day or that week. And you and I started seeing that correlation a long time ago, and other people were noticing it as well. So today I decided to come on and talk about what's going on in the world. But you know me, Reese, you know that I'm always talking about that because that's my mission. But I came on and I was talking about different things and how you should be, like giving you life coaching details of the secret of the matrix. You were on earlier, so you heard what I was saying, where I was talking about, making a chart, or making getting a point where you say, this is what I want to do, or this is what I want to be. And then how do I get there? What do I need to do to get to those places? What do I need to do to do that? And, life coaching and spiritual life coaching, I was talking about that, saying you need to, pick what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? What do I need to do to get there? And giving examples of that. So I go off air, I get off air, and I go and I sit down and I start doing language on Duolingo, because I'm on that app where I do language. And as I'm doing the language on Duolingo, I all of a sudden, the lessons on Duolingo and where literally they have like the where they show you a little book and you click on it and it's a story and you listen to the story and they ask you questions in the language that you have to listen to the story in the language that you're learning. And then they ask you questions and you have to be able to type it or answer yes or no to the questions. And so the whole thing is you're hearing the words in that language, and then you're reading questions in that language, and you're answering questions in that language. And then there's another one that they do that is like a talk show, where it's a podcaster talking to somebody on the radio or on a phone that's coming through the voice box there, and they're talking about a subject, and the same thing happens where you listen to them talking in that language, and then you have to answer questions. Both I did when a book opens up and the other one's a little microphone. one where it's telling a story and you're there and you're seeing a conversation between two people, and the other one's like a podcast setting. And I did that, both of those settings, and both of them were about life coaching and about setting goals and getting things. Talking about apropos, Reese, that was weird. So it's bizarre that I was literally coming live to talk about that and about the secret to the universe, the secret to the matrix, and how you are in charge of this logos for yourself, and partly in charge for the entire globe, for the entire population. And then I get off and I get on Duolingo, and that's the lessons that are being taught on both of those today. And here I am back again talking about that. Then in between then, when I got done with that, then I got a phone call from a friend of mine who we were talking about, and she had no idea what I was talking about on my live. She had no idea because she missed it and was calling to apologize for that. Had no idea what I just had done on Duolingo. And then our conversation goes to her mentoring people and saying, how do I get this? And what do I need to do that? And this guy's going to call me and wants to know about my life. And I don't know, how am I supposed to do that? And I was like, you just gave me the whole rundown of where your life was and how you got to where you were. You just said that. Just tell him that. And that my wife and I had both told her she should have a podcast and do exactly that. And I said, look, they're already coming to you. These people are already seeking you out to ask you questions about life coaching. And you explained this very well. And we talked about that. And she's like, oh, wow, yeah. So weirdly, my entire day has been about that in some way. And that's very apropos to, what is it? Was it my choice that brought this about? Was it the universe and the weirdness of the universe that brought me into talking about this topic? There's my brother who just popped into on Instagram. How you doing, Jeff? I don't know if you're still here. You popped in, but I don't know if you're still over there. Welcome if you are. You can talk in that chat, and I can see you because I'm popping back and forth between the chats. So what is it? Is it the universe? Is it God that put that thought in my head that I need to go live on my Wednesday, Tuesday in America, and I need to talk about the life coaching, because that's where I ended up talking about the secret of what's going on in the universe, and it happened to run down the path of life coaching and spiritual life coaching. And then Duolingo, weirdly, the lessons I'm learning on there they're using the same vernacular of life coaching for me to actually learn from that. And then I get a phone call that's about life coaching from a friend of mine who's thinking about having a podcast, who people are coming to her already, and we're talking about that. And then I come back to do it again. So the weirdness of that, or the serendipitousness of that, is what did this all occur because that's what's happening in the universe right now. And I picked up on this. Was it God that said, I need to do this? Is it just a coincidence that I came on live to talk about the life coaching and spiritual life coaching, and then or is it an algorithm that weirdly is listening to me, and the app then gave me that because that's what I'm talking about for 2.5 hours earlier today? But what motivated a person who lives in the state of Ohio to call me all the way over here in New South Wales and talk and have the same conversation until I had to get off the phone to come back here and have the same conversation? What are the ramifications of all of that? What was the alignment of all of that brought all of this together? Was it me that precipitated that? Was it the universe? Was it the world? Was it God? Was it Jesus? What was that have all of those things aligned right now in that weird way? And how many other people out there would have noticed something like that, right? I noticed it because it was literally the topic that I'm talking about. So the weird thing is that's what's going on. And I'm seeing that. I've talked for 2.5 hours. I get off. The app is about that for another hour. And then I get on the phone. It's about that. Then I come back here and I decide to go back live at 3 p.m. to see how that pans out for the people over in Europe, to see if they see me live on either Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, right? To see if anybody wants to ask questions about what's going on, or listen to me doing something crazy like channeling an actual entity instead of just channeling and not saying who I'm talking or who's talking. You know, a lot of times when I do that, when I'm on Orion Rising, when I'm doing Orion Rising, I am channeling, you know, and not really specifying who's talking at the time, and just allowing that to happen when people are asking me questions. Brooke knows the difference of who it is, and she'll actually say that to me when I'm not on camera. She's not here right now because she's at work, but she'll know that. And after the show's over, especially since I've been here, she's able to talk to me a lot more. But even when I was still in America, she would call me and she would say, "You were just channeling so and so, you know, Rafael or Thoth or a couple of other people that I channel my higher self." And she would, you know, kind of like laugh about that, going, "Wow, that's weird. I can actually tell who you're channeling," and not even knowing that you're who it is that you can channel. But I've kept that kind of a secret for a while, and I've decided that I was going to allow that to come out. And in doing this, I decided that it was time for that. I was taking care of my mother before. So taking care of my mother, I was not readily able to focus as much attention on that. And now that I'm no longer taking care of my mother, being over here with Brooke, we're moving into the next phase, which Reese, you and I are going to have a conversation afterwards. Maybe not today, but we're going to have a conversation in our group setting of you know, what we're looking at doing. I think you know, that I've mentioned that to you before. Peter has been pushing me, and Peter Coyle from Ireland has been pushing me to move into this for a while. So he's really happy that I'm starting to do this. He sent me a couple messages in the last couple of days, you know, talking about that, and he's been really trying to move us into a different place, and he's been trying to do that for a while now. If you know, but if you're behind the scenes talking and you talk to Peter or see him posting in the chat, you know what I'm talking about. Reese, I'm pretty sure you've been privy to some of those conversations, so you know what I'm talking about. You've been around for a long time. You and I go back to what, 2017 or right around there, right? So so you have a pretty good idea of what I'm talking about, and that's why when we recreated a different group, that's why we put you into that group, and we haven't had a chance to get everybody in there. We've been talking one-on-one, but Brooke and I haven't had a chance to talk to you or Peter with just us. But Peter's been talking to me and pushing Brooke and talking to her. And I've been talking to, Brooke and I have been talking to the other people in the group. And Reese, we haven't had a chance to get with you. That's why we were talking about figuring out when we can come up and see you. But we'll talk before then. But that was one of the reasons why we want to come up there and see you. We want to make some plans for that to meet, because you and I have known each other since 2017, and I've never shook your hand. So I have to do that now that I'm in this country, because I promised you that I would. When I get to Australia, I'm going to come find you and I'm going to shake your hand, because we literally have gone back and have been in each other's lives a lot more than that. I'm sure you've felt that, and you know that for a lot longer, not just in this life, but we'll talk about that off camera. So, because I believe that you know that, but you just have been waiting for me to say it to you, and here I am talking about it live instead of in a chat. So I'll have to get with you and find out when you're available, and that way we can get on a call and with Brooke and I and you and talk about that more in detail. We haven't done that with Peter either. Peter and I talk, and Brooke and he talks, but we haven't all three of us got on there and talked. So anyway, so we're moving into this next phase. So I'm allowing everyone to know that I am a channel and that I am channeling. So in public for the first time over here in Gosford on Sunday, I will be channeling. Like I said, I don't know. I haven't gotten the schedule to know if I'm going to have an hour or more or whatever, but I do know that at some point during the day I will be. So if you're in New South Wales, anywhere, especially around Umina Beach, Woy Woy, where I'm at, or Gosford in this area, that you can be there on Sunday. Reese, that would be badass if you guys drove down, but that's a crazy drive for you guys to do that. But you guys could, if you need a place. We got a spare bedroom. Not even kidding, with a bed in there, with a queen size bed in there. So if you guys wanted to come down and hang out with us for the day and need a place to stay, we got one. I don't know if you've got kids. I know that you have. I think you do. You have 2 kids, so I don't know if you could pack everybody up. But we have a couch that also is a queen size bed that we could put the kids on for the night, and you and the wife could stay in there. Just saying. I haven't even talked to Brooke about it, but if I know Brooke, she'd be like, "Tell them to come on down." Right. So, if you guys want an excursion for the weekend on this coming weekend, let me know. We'll talk after I get off the air. If you guys get a free place, you can stay. You can come hang out with us. We hang out for a day or two, right? You guys come down on Saturday and stay the night and hang out on Sunday and go up there to Gosford with us, or not. Just saying. Just giving you an option if you guys want to get away from where you're at and you want to come down and hang out. If not, we'll come up and see you at some point. I know you guys were moving. So at some point we'll come up and see you guys up there once we figure that out. Okay. Or maybe you can come down. Stephen and Evan Strong are going to be here in October. They're coming down to go to because the place where where the Egyptian writing on the rocks is like 10 minutes from me, 15 minutes from me, right up the street right here. Not a joke. This way, right up the street that way from me. And I was unaware of that. And I was talking to Evan. Stephen and Evan are going to come down. They're going to do some filming up here again for either Forgotten Origins or our Alien Ancestry, or one of those two, for their stuff that they do. And I said, wow, I would love to go and see that stuff. And he was like, it's right by you, bro. You're like 15 minutes away. I was like, what? So I looked it up. It's just up the street. I was like, what? So at some point, when he comes down, we're going to go up there with him. So that'd be cool, Reese. If you came down, we could all go hike up there, because you got to drive in and then you got to hike about 20 minutes or 30 minutes into the place. But it's a park, right? It's the Brisbane National Park, but it's huge around this area between you and I and there. Anyways, so I don't even know if Reese is still in the audience. So I'm talking, but yeah, we'll have to get together, right? So there's somebody else that popped in over on Instagram. It's what is that? Misha. So what is this? I don't know. Hi, welcome. Okay, so literally weird that I was talking about spiritual life coaching earlier, and then the app of Duolingo was using that as the vernacular to teach. And then I have a conversation with a friend who is literally going down that road, and she's kind of like, I don't know that I want to do that. And like, it's kind of happening to you. And then I come back on here, doing it still. What is the correlation in the world for that? I don't know. So, so we're moving into the next phase. Those of us at the Orion Coalition, the Orion Council, some of you know the Orion Council of Light. They're part of the Galactic Council that's up there, that rule the council is up in Venus on the up there, and the rings of Saturn is another base that's up there that some of you might think is crazy, because you might think I'm nuts talking about aliens, but they're not really aliens like you see them. They're not physically in the 3rd dimension. At that point, they're 5th dimension that is there, and they're mostly light at that point, not completely. But the coalition, the Orion Coalition, is down here in the physical, and we are quite a few souls that came here just for that coalition. But there's many coalitions that are down here that are helping to do this stuff that is here. And some of us, yeah, right? You said that would be cool, right? Yeah, I know, brother. So we'll talk. I got a couple of things we got to do, Brooke and I got to do today, but we'll see if we can talk to you in the meantime while we're doing that. If not, then we'll talk to you like tomorrow or the next day, sometime this week if we can. But if you guys are serious, you want to come down, let me know. Message me or tell me in here, and then we'll make plans for that. And then we'll make sure that we talk to you tonight, because we got to go and print out our Merlin and Maeve thing for the weekend to do that session that's going to be up there. And like I said, she's going to do Reiki. We have a Reiki table, so we're going to take that, and she's going to massage table, and she's going to do Reiki there, and I'm going to assist her with that until I end up going and channeling, and then I'll do the channeling session and then come back and hang out. So yeah, that would be cool, right? Or the October thing would be cool too, because they said, yeah, you guys can come with us. We're going to be filming some stuff there. And I was like, woohoo. So they're coming into town in October, and I think it's the first weekend. It's the holiday. They said the long weekend. So Brooke said there's a holiday. I think it's the first weekend in October, bro. You would know better than I would, because I'm new to Australia. But apparently there's a holiday that weekend. They're coming down for the Saturday, Sunday on the long weekend. So I think it's the first weekend in October, but don't quote me. You would probably know, Reese, because you're from here. So that will be kind of cool that they're coming down, and we're going to go with them and meet them probably right up here at the gates and then walk in. So I've never met Stephen and Evan in person either, but I've known them since, I don't know, 2018 or 2017, somewhere around the same time, 2018. So they're just up further north than you are. I don't know exactly where. I don't remember exactly where, but somewhere Gold Coast area north of you. And they're coming down to do that. So that'll be kind of cool to hang out with them for a day or two. So we'll figure that out. So, yeah, so weirdly, so those of us, now you're getting more information. Those of you around the world right now are getting more information than the first time I was on the air earlier today at 8 o'clock this morning here in New South Wales. I was talking more about the secret to the universe. I can get back to that. If you guys have questions, please talk about it in the chat. I should have had that running. Let me go put that up and have that running so you guys can see that. Put the banner up saying, please ask questions in the chat here so you guys know that I am taking questions so that you guys can see that and that I am taking questions here. Did I get that up? Did that stop running? Did I put that? No, that's up. Okay. So, yeah. So if you guys want to ask questions in the chat, please do so, and I'll answer your questions. So if you want to know about what's going on in the universe, what's going on in the world, what is this place, what is this reality, ask those questions and I'll answer them for you. I'll answer anything. You have life coaching questions, I'll answer that, for crying out loud. I've been doing that for 30 years. Spiritual life coaching, all of that. Whatever you guys want to know about, I'm here to answer those questions. So we're going to move further into that next phase of answering these questions. And I'm going to start channeling. Or I'm not going to start channeling. I'm going to start letting people know that I have been channeling and who I have been channeling. So right now, I'm already announcing Rafael, Archangel Rafael, and Thoth, the Atlantean, that I have already been. And those of you who know me, you know that I always talk about that. I'm always hinting at that, and I have been hinting about Thoth, the Atlantean, and that information, and making the correlations. It's even in my book that I make those correlations. So I have been hinting that. There's a few others that I've been hinting about that other people have caught on to as well, but those will come later. It's weird. Most people pick one thing to channel, one entity to channel. I didn't. I came in this life and I actually channel 4, 5 different entities at different times that are known to everyone. But I have access to even more than that because I have been on this earth for a very long time in different bodies. And so I have access to many different people from the past that I can actually channel because I was these particular people in the past. But I won't get into that until later on. Probably in about 5 years, a few years from now, getting maybe 2, that I'll start revealing a little bit more of that as things progress down the path. And Reese, you'll be waking up to some of that. You, I think, know more than you're saying, and we haven't had time to really get involved in that information. So weirdly, Reese, I hope you're still here because weirdly, I keep getting messages for you that instead of doing it on like in the chat, I'm live here doing that. I apologize for that, brother, to be throwing that at you the way I am live, but this is what's coming out of my mouth, so I'm allowing it to happen. You were supposed to tune in this time to hear me say these things to you for whatever reason, and that's why I just do what I'm compelled to do, weirdly. So you and I will be talking more because and if you're unaware, which I think you are, even Brooke thinks you are aware of stuff. I think you've been waiting for us. And if not, we do know that, that this will activate you, the same way that Thoth, activates people when I show them and talk to them about the chakras and the names of the chakras, how that activates people when you shift that your thinking and the energies change. So we'll see how that goes, brother, when we'll have to converse about that. So those of us in the Orion Coalition down here, boots on the ground, we are a group of people that are souls from a higher plane of existence who have returned to Earth. You guys are ready to start hearing this. So there's other people talking about this from other coalitions around the world. We came here from a higher plane to assist in this reality, this illusion that you think is a reality, for this transition that this place is going through currently. We're here to assist you with that transition. And we came here specifically for that purpose, because I don't know how much details I should get into right now. I guess there's not very many people listening, so it won't matter. I've talked about this before. So the transition that you're going through is only happened one other time in the Milky Way galaxy. So it's something that's very, what's the word we're looking for? Very novel to this scenario. Let's give you the truth of what's happening here. You are in a school. It is a college. It is a school that is set up to appear to you to be a prison, because you are in a place that you volunteered to go to, where you would be mind wiped and you would not have any memory. That's called the veiling, where you don't know who you are and you don't know why you're here. And every single soul that is on this planet volunteered to come down here to do this. This type of world that you're involved in, this particular one here on this planet, is the hardest school in the Milky Way galaxy to graduate from. You, every single one of you that is here on this earth, volunteered to come down here to go through this. This is not happening to you. This is happening for you. You volunteered for this. You came here to do this. And other people in the universe are going to look at you when you get out of here like you're a rock star for coming to this place. You did what? You went to Earth? You are insanely crazy. That is the hardest thing. I would never do that. You don't know that right now. But that's what's going on. So you volunteered for this and you came here, and this is a school. And this is a very, very difficult school. It's the most difficult place. Why would we do this to ourselves? Why would we do that? Because you will learn more here on this place in a few lifetimes, 7 to 10 lifetimes, than you will learn, or that you have learned in the entire existence that you've had so far. You will learn more in 7 to 10 lifetimes. Let me say that again for you. Than you have in your existence so far. That is what this place does. That is what you volunteered for. You're not a slave. You were not captured. You were not sent here because you were a bad person or a bad soul or a political prisoner. All of that is a third dimensional construct that was constructed by the people that are here, that like being here and enjoy that. And they've bought into this place and they want to be in this place and they like it. And they're staying here. They want everybody else to stay here. And they want everybody else to keep them in power and control because they like it here. Okay? Those people know what I know. And they're taking that information away from you so that you don't see it, so that it makes it harder for you to leave, to graduate, to get out of here. And because of that, they've gotten this place a little stuck. When that happens, people like myself come from a higher plane and embed ourselves down here undercover and help fix things. And then when we get to a certain point, which is where we are now, we then reveal ourselves to the population of a planet at our own detriment. People will go, oh, that person's crazy. We don't care. We are crazy to those people who are not ready to hear what we're saying. You will be as well. When you start your ascension, you'll start saying things where some of your family members and friends will go, okay, you're nuts. You've lost your mind. And that's what will happen to you. That's normal. That happens in a place like this. People think you're crazy when you're waking up because they're not. People around you will not like you anymore, and you will then start changing the people that you surround yourself with because the people that you're around no longer fit with you because you've outgrown them. That's a natural way that things work in this kind of scenario in the universe. It works like this in other places, but not so much because it works like that anyways. But at most places, you're not veiled. You grow up not like this. This is one of the newer places that the Creator likes. So these are test subjects that are going on around the universe, and it seems to work. And the elite people go, I want to try that. Those people, it's just like we show you this in the programming on television. You have people that do Survivor Island. You have other people that do the one where they're being trained by the Navy SEALs. And some of those people are just movie stars and actors that want to prove themselves, and they try to do these things. Okay, you have that showing you this in all these talent competitions, where you have normal people who think they can dance, normal people who think they can sing, normal people who think they could survive on a place. All of those scenarios are being played out right before your eyes around the world in these programs that you watch, because that's what's happening here. As below, so above, as within, so without. They're showing you what's going on, and you're unaware of it. Okay, so you have people that are saying they would never do that, but they're volunteering to do something insane, and and then if they win, they get money for the person. But even the ones who drop out are like, I'm glad I did it. It changes their life. Survivors, all those different television shows where people were survivors, Survivor Island, Naked and Afraid, and all those things, even Amazing Race. And the people who go on those journeys, they're brave enough to say, I'm going to try that. And then afterwards, when you hear about it, they go, I'm glad I did that. It was really fun. It was crazy. I was scared. I was crying. I was puking. Oh no, it was horrible. And then afterwards, now I'm going, whoo, I survived that. They volunteered for that. When they were there and when it was happening, they were like, oh my God, I can't do this. I'm not going to make it. Some of them didn't. Some of them did. That is what's happening here on a grandiose scale. You're just unaware of that because you're not supposed to be aware of it right yet. But you're starting to become aware of it as a species on the earth, as a general population. You're starting to become aware of that. Because you're starting to become aware of that, I can tell you what I'm telling you right now. Pardon me while I take a drink of my coffee. So if you tuned in earlier today, you're getting more information right now than you did earlier, because earlier I was giving you the secret of the matrix, which to you on a low third dimensional scale, it's just life coaching. For those of you on a little bit higher scale, it's spiritual life coaching. For those of you on a scale of in between that, going, what is going on with the universe, that probably was like, wait a minute. And for those of you who are very high in vibration, you were either going, okay, or you were going, Matt's basic, or wait, what? And you might be doing that now. You might be thinking I'm crazy. That doesn't matter to me. Most people do think I'm crazy depending on where they are in their development. Those people who are near me, below me, or above me don't think I'm crazy, especially the ones that are in higher vibration than me. Then they're looking at me going, it's just basic stuff, Ray, welcome. Like Ray just popped in. She might be listening to me and saying, yeah, Leo, that's basic stuff. She did that when I was talking about the law of one. And I said, Ray, for you it is basic because you know this. But for those people who are in 3D, this is like, I'm crazy talking about crazy stuff. Right? And she laughed. I guess you're right. It's a matter of perspective. So here we are in this place in the development of the human race on this planet. Every single soul that is here on this earth volunteered for this. You came to the harshest planet, the hardest school to graduate from. You came to the school of hard knocks. That's what they would call it in the United States. You volunteered for this. This isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. No matter how bad your life is out there in the world, this place you volunteered to be in. You don't know it right now because you're veiled. You don't understand it right now because you're veiled. But those of you who are starting to become unveiled, you'll hear the truth in what I'm saying. Those of you who are unveiled, you're going, how can you be saying this to the world on live camera? What is the deal with that? Because we weren't able to tell you this not too long ago, right? Yeah, Ray says we're a bit uncomfortable. We are a bit uncomfortable for people to handle sometimes. I can't put that up on the screen because weirdly I'm live on my page. So, but if you're on my page, you can see that she said that. But I can't put it up on the screen for those of you on Instagram or on YouTube, because those comments are not coming into the studio, because I went live on Leonard O'Neill's page on Facebook, and that doesn't filter into the studio. But yes, Ray and Reese, who was just in here, are two of the souls who rode the bus with me that came here, came in the same ship that I came in, whatever you want to call it. We didn't get here in a spaceship, but we kind of did. Not in 3D, but we kind of did. But we are part of the coalition, and there's a core group of us, and then there's a larger group that assists us, and then there's a really big group that assists us in a different reality. And we're able to, this time in the existence of this planet, expose ourselves to you and let you know who we are. They've been pushing me. Peter's been pushing me that for a long time to do it, and I've been resisting, but now I'm no longer resisting that. I knew that once I was done taking care of my mother, that was the sign. So my mother is now passed away. I am now in Australia with Brooke. And I'm hitting the ground running now. We're moving forward. I was holding back I've been here for a month and a half now, holding back, and I couldn't stop myself. I said, I need to start doing this. And she says, do it, let's go. So we've sped up things in a very big way over here, and we're jumping straight into it. And I didn't say anything to Ray. I didn't say anything to Reese. I didn't say anything to Peter. I didn't say anything to anybody. We just started doing it, and knowing that Ray is understanding. She's starting to realize it. Reese, I think you are too, and we'll be talking about that. And there's a few more of us that we need to talk about that are in our coalition to move forward with the next phase of what we're doing. We're not the only coalition. There are thousands of coalitions that are here. The Coalition of Planets has everybody that's in the Coalition of Planets, or the Galactic Council that you know that by. Some of you know it as the Galactic Council. There's from that council, there's a representative group from every one of those people that are down here, boots on the ground, that are working around the world in different places. And our coalition is the Orion Coalition. We came from the belt of Orion. We came to this place following those who you know as the Anunnaki, and came down here to assist you guys from the corruption and damage that they did to this place. Because this place, I don't know if they were aware of it when they got here, but because of it, they took advantage of this place. But this place is a college that is purposefully done here like this, to where you become veiled and you don't know that you are something more than just this flesh body. And we are here to assist you because you have been stuck here in this place more than normal. More than normal. So we've come down, many other people have, millions of us have come here to sacrifice our time and our development to come in here to be with you and to be just as veiled. Those of us who came in here came undercover to help fix things enough. And now we have gotten ourselves and this place to a point where we can actually officially come out and tell you who we are and what we're doing. And part of that is me doing that right now. And moving forward, you already see Peter. If you know Peter Coyle, you'll already know that he's already starting to do that on his platforms. So we're starting to get to that, right? And I'm going to put my glasses back on to see what Ray's saying here. She said, and it's not even the type of warfare we appreciate, right? What is it? The mean suit is weird to wear. Yeah, the meat suit is weird to wear. Yeah, right. We were just talking about that the other day. Brooke and I were talking about you, Ray, because we've talked just a couple of days ago. We were talking, and Brooke and I were laughing, and I was laughing because I had said to Brooke, I don't tell Ray this very often, but I freaking agree with her, man. And Brooke looked at me and goes, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "I would rather Hulk smash. I would rather Hulk smash it. It's so much easier when you're just at war, and we're down here doing this and we can't do that. And she looked at me and started laughing because she feels the same way, but hadn't mentioned that to me. And when Ray gets upset and starts doing that, we both are like, come on now, Ray, calm down. You're not supposed to be like that. But inside we're going, yes, and get you. Ooh, Hulk smash. So, but I don't usually tell Ray that. So Ray's going to laugh now when you're going to laugh your butt off. So in this particular life, we've done it in lives, and we've had to restrain ourselves from what we normally do, so that we can keep the balance in here and restore the natural order of things. So it's been harder in this on this world for us to come here and participate in these flesh bodies to where we can't Hulk smash. We can't just like get into it. We can't get into the weeds and pull out swords and smash away. So it's a little bit harder in this life. This particular one is a little harder because in this life right now, in this reality that you guys see here, is a pivotal moment for this world. So we have to be very fleshy and spiritual, where normally we would be scary looking and between 9 and 14 feet tall and very just not not very human looking to you. Bipedal though, blue. And sometimes brown and green and with wings, and sometimes some horns and stuff like that, depending on which guys you're going to see, but not evil, just so you know. And that's going to sound really crazy to some of you out there, which is okay, but you are ready for that information. Some of you understand gargoyles on your earth here and what they do. Gargoyles are demon hunters. They have been put on all the churches around the world because the people of this planet used to know about gargoyles. In your minds, in one of the guises, we would be a gargoyle to you. In another reality, we would be a dragon to you. In another reality, we would just be like the Anunnaki. Only the Anunnaki they're showing you them as a sort of a older human looking. We're taller than that. We are blue. We were blue, most of us, and we're 9 feet to 14 feet tall. But in in this planet, we're flesh humans in this place, because that is what is here. So to not crazily upset that balance, we have come in here legally, which means that our souls are embedded in the soul the same way you guys are, going through the process of being born and growing and coming out into this world, except for some of us are unveiled. Some of us are very unveiled, and some of us are unveiling as we go, and all of us are now unveiling at a very large speed. For those of us who are in our core group, we have a core 7, and then we have an extended group that goes to 24, and then a bigger group off world that goes to 48, and bigger than that, way bigger than that, off world, right? So yeah, we can't fix the problem. Ray says we can't just fix the problem. We have to play chess with the checkers. It's much easier and quicker, right? So yeah, redheaded tail with scars we wear like armor, right? We're talking about the way different looks that we have, that you guys might be not even inclined to believe when I'm talking to you right now, and that's okay. Some of you don't understand that, and that's okay. Some of you will understand that more, and some of you will understand that a great deal, because there are some of you that are still sleeping that came from the same places that we did, and you're down here as well, and you've been veiled, and you have also came down here to help, and you're starting to have the memories wash up in your dreams, and you're starting to realize that you're not actually from this planet, those of you around the world that are hearing my voice and can't see my face or my eyes, the voice that I'm speaking to you in right now is helping to activate you. Those of you who can see my eyes will be activated by that and my voice. This is something that we have discussed. In fact, my wife was a little annoyed that I didn't make a video to put on the air for people to come in today. So I'm going to have to make a video. She said, they need to hear your voice when you're speaking those words. So I'm purposefully now giving that for anyone who tunes in at this point, that this will activate those of you who hear my voice that are supposed to, and you will understand the truth of that which is happening, that you remember, and you remember that you're not from here. You sense that, and that you've come here to help. There are millions of us who have done that, and it is now time for these people that are supposed to wake up to wake up. So I'm giving you that. I'm giving some of you that are out there that can hear this and that will hear this. That is the reason why I came live the second time, for those of you who will find this, and I will be doing this more often. Pardon me. I will be doing this more often every week. I will be doing this coming on here going forward. I will also be doing on Friday. I'll continue doing the Orion Rising. You can see the thing. Is it this hand? Which hand is it over here? This one or this one? I have to look on the go back in the studio. That one. You can see my symbol there. Fridays I will be doing the Law of One still. Not the Law of One, the Orion Rising. And I will be doing Thoth, the Atlantean. We'll be talking about the Emerald Tablets this coming Friday. Today's Wednesday in Australia, and it'll be this Friday at 8 a.m. So I will be back next Wednesday, which will be Tuesday in the United States and the UK, and then Tuesday night, and then Wednesday morning in the UK, because I'll be going twice next Wednesday. So it'll be late Tuesday and then early Wednesday for the rest of the world. And I will be talking there, right? Yeah, Ray says war isn't always what people picture, right? We love war, as we always were, because that's what we're designed for. We'll get into that in another session where I reveal a little bit more of that, right? But it means a solution, right? Was always, as we always were. It means a solution elsewhere when we show up. Here, though, nobody knows or understands. Nobody remembers, right? Because other places they're different. They're not veiled like you guys are here. Now my wife, so I'm going to probably have to get off here because she's probably getting off of work. So, let me let you guys know that I got to call my wife back. So she's trying to call me. So I am going to end the program now, end the live. I'll be back on Friday. If you are in New South Wales or anywhere near Umina Beach, Woy or Gosford, come find us in Gosford. You can look on my page. On Sunday, we'll be there. Brooke and I will be there. She'll be doing Reiki. I will be channeling, and I will give you more of this information if you want to show up on Sunday and hear me talk and ask me questions live in person. If not, I will see you guys on Friday on doing the Orion Rising. And if you don't come on Sunday, I'll be back on Tuesday, Wednesday, and give you guys more information. And I'm going to continue doing this going forward. I love you guys. I'm going to jump on and call my wife, and then Reese will get a hold of you at some point. Ray will also be talking to you at some point, probably today as the day goes, but Brooke and I have a few things to do before dinner. So we'll figure all this logistics out in the next couple of days to talk to you guys. All right, you guys, for the rest of you that are out there hearing my voice, go back and listen to what I just said. I love you guys. I'll either see you on Friday, I'll see you on Sunday, or I'll see you back here on Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on where you are in the world when you tune in. All right, guys, I love you guys. I will see you guys later. I need to call my wife because she's getting off work right now. She just messaged me with, I miss you. All right, I love you guys. Have a great day.